Hey guys, it's DJ Jack here once again with you another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the review of this week's episode of the new Santa Claus series of I believe this week was episode 4. Yes. I mean, I know I'm a couple days behind, but haven't really got a chance because I wasn't debating whether I should do the review of this episode or not, because this episode this week was, let's just say it was decent. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it was good. I mean, it was pretty good. I'm going to say more about it now here in the video now. Let's go. So the new Santa Claus, that the guy that he gave it to at the very end of the last episode, last episode of last week, and now this week episode 4 came in, and the guy he gave the job to is taking over and trying to do it his own way and doesn't want to do it the way Santa Claus is supposed to do it. So he takes over the job. He notices that the coat is missing. Somebody stole the coat, or a mysterious person snuck in and knew that this guy was not the right choice that he picked as his successor. And he starts firing the elves and starts telling the elves and doesn't accept hugs. When an elf asks him to give Santa a hug, he doesn't accept a hug from them. And his daughter's in the room just like, it's interesting. And he's trying, like we saw in the first episode, this guy was trying to start his own company to do his own thing with delivering gifts and do it his way. And it's not going the way Santa would have hoped for it. Or Tim Allen, Santa Claus, would have hoped for it. This guy is kind of taking over things, ruining things. He's making things not so great. He's trying to do it and make it with his own company and everything, and he's not taking phone calls. He's not accepting letters. He ripped up the letter of the head elf who picks the successor of the Santa Claus, and she noticed that she probably did not pick the right person, and they should have gave it to Peyton Manning, maybe. I mean, I don't know how many people want to see Peyton Manning as the new Santa Claus, but I certainly would like to. But now Tim Allen's out on retirement, enjoying his time with his kids, not working, not having anything to do. And his head elf, or his new head elf of this series, Noel, after getting fired from the North Pole, he starts to go back to see Tim Allen, Santa Claus, and asking him for advice to come back because the new Santa Claus is ruining everything. And he's telling the elves what to do. He's firing a lot of elves. It's gotten, that's why we saw when the lights went off in the last episode, in episode 3, at the very end towards the end, right before the credits came on, we saw that. And then all of a sudden, and we find out that one of the girls, Calvin Claus, or Buddy Calvin Claus, what they call him, he seems to want, not sure what he wants to do or what he's looking for at school and stuff, and it's not, but the girl, the daughter, basically ends up knowing what she likes to do, because she can talk. We learned in the last episode, and we learned in this episode, she can talk to animals. Animals can talk back to her. She can't talk to the horses, but the horses and the reindeer can talk back to her. Somehow she has communication with the animals. It's really, really cool to see in this series, what we've seen in this series so far. I like that. I think that's kind of her superpower, what we can consider her magic superpower. Her Christmas spirit magic, her Christmas magic, is that animals can communicate back and forth with her. They can talk to her. But she doesn't even know that she's bringing them to life. She's actually making them talk. It's so cool to see in this series. I love how Disney made this for the show, where the Santa Claus, or where she talks to the animals, or the animals talk back to her. She doesn't talk to them. The animals talk to her. It's real, and talk back after she talks to them. And then she learned she loved horseback riding because she loved riding the reindeer, so it looks like she's really professional at horseback riding. And we learned that in this episode. A lot of interesting stuff about this new episode of episode 4 of the Santa Claus series. But at the very end, when they're getting ready to celebrate Christmas, it doesn't seem Christmas came on time with the new Santa Claus. And we see right before the credits come on, we see this random person in a Santa costume. I forgot to mention the witch. He tries to get the coat back from the witch, and the witch ends up giving it to someone. And all of a sudden, we see this random hand over Santa Claus, in my debates on who this person could be is either Bernard, or it's the current Santa Claus taking over, or it's Peyton Manning. We don't really know exactly. Stop, Alexa. Stop. And this is how it goes really good. But it's interesting. Besides that, I'm DJ Jack, and I'll talk to you later.